I know it sounds dramatic, but emotional disconnection is real for cats too. They might not cry or sulk like we do, but they show it in strange and subtle ways. In this video, we're going to gently uncover the hidden signs your cat might be feeling left out, overlooked, or emotionally disconnected, even if you've loved them all along. Some of these signs are easy to miss. Others, you've probably seen them 100 times without realizing what they really mean. So if you care about your cat's emotional well-being, stay with me till the end. You might be surprised how much your cat has been trying to tell you. Let's begin with something that often gets overlooked: your cat's voice. You've probably heard your cat meow when they're hungry, or purr when you pet them just right. But when those vocalizations suddenly increase, when they're meowing more often, louder, or at strange times of day, it could be more than just a request for food. According to PetMD, sudden increases in vocalization can be a literal cry for attention or a sign of emotional distress. It's their way of saying, "Hey, I need you right now." And if they're using their voice to reach you, that's actually a compliment. It means they feel safe enough to ask. So next time your cat won't stop meowing when you're trying to focus, maybe don't see it as nagging, maybe see it as trust, and then respond. Talk back, pet them, let them feel heard. If your cat has ever spoken up just to be near you and you've answered with love, show us with a like. But not every cry for connection comes wrapped in sweetness. Sometimes it shows up as chaos. Picture this: a cat knocking things off shelves, chewing on cords, clawing the furniture, doing things that feel almost spiteful. But it's rarely about being bad. More often, it's about being seen. A cat who feels ignored might stir up trouble simply because they've learned one thing: mischief gets a reaction, even if it's not a positive one. Like a child tossing toys for attention, some cats act out not out of malice, but out of a quiet growing need to matter. And it doesn't always show on the outside. Sometimes the destruction turns inward. A cat that's anxious or emotionally flat might stop grooming altogether. Others do the opposite, grooming to the point of bald spots and raw skin. Just like humans who skip showers when they're down or scrub endlessly to regain a sense of control, cats use self-care as a window into their emotional world. So when you notice a matted coat, dull fur, or obsessive licking, it may not be a hygiene issue at all. It may be heartbreak, manifesting in silence. Fear is another key indicator. When a cat feels emotionally neglected, that absence of security can manifest as fear. And fear often leads to aggression: a bite, a scratch, a hiss, or, alternatively, hiding under the bed for days at a time. Loneliness can be terrifying, especially for creatures hardwired to interpret isolation as danger. You might also find yourself dealing with litter box mishaps. Yes, improper bathroom behavior can mean something is physically wrong, or that the litter box is just too dirty, but it can also be an emotional cry for help. If your cat suddenly starts peeing outside the box, it could be their confused, slightly gross way of saying, "I feel unsettled. Something is off." Catster points out that stress-related litter box problems are more common than most people think. And another sign is a change in appetite. A cat who once ran to the food bowl might suddenly seem disinterested, barely nibbling at meals because nothing feels exciting anymore. On the flip side, some may begin to overeat, using food as a form of comfort, an emotional crutch to soothe what they can't express. These aren't just quirks, they're signals. And when changes in eating habits come alongside things like unexplained weight loss or excessive thirst, it's time to look deeper, not just at their physical health, but at their emotional well-being too. Then there's another everyone overlooks: sleep. Yes, cats are famous for their naps, but there's a difference between healthy rest and emotional withdrawal. If your usually curious, playful cat no longer stirs at the sound of the treat jar or ignores their favorite toy without a flick of the tail, it may be more than just a sleepy mood. It could be sadness settling in. Think of it like this: if a person stayed in bed all day, skipped meals, and ignored calls from loved ones, you'd worry. The same concern should extend to your feline companion, because in many ways, depression in cats mirrors what we see in people: quiet retreat, loss of interest, and subtle shifts that speak volumes. Now, clinginess might seem like the opposite problem, but it's actually a big sign. When a cat won't stop following you from room to room, presses themselves against your leg when you try to walk, or even sits outside the bathroom door meowing while you shower, what they're really saying is, "Please don't leave me." This kind of behavior is sometimes nicknamed Velcro cat behavior. It's sweet, but it often comes from insecurity. They're trying to glue themselves to you to make sure you won't go. It's rooted in anxiety, not just affection. But some cats go the other way. They shut down. If your formerly affectionate cat now avoids eye contact, hides away, or pulls back when you reach for them, don't just assume they're mad. It could be emotional withdrawal. Cats use eye contact, especially slow blinking, as a form of emotional bonding. So if they won't even look at you, that says a lot, and it's not good. In fact, eye contact avoidance is one of the more underappreciated signs of feline distress. While it might seem like a small thing, for cats, it's major. It's their equivalent of turning their back on someone they once trusted. And in a social species that communicates heavily through subtle gestures, that's a big red flag. One lesser known but fascinating condition? Feline hyperesthesia syndrome, often called rolling skin disease. It's both neurological and behavioral in nature, causing sudden ripples or twitches along your cat's lower back or tail, almost as if their skin has a mind of its own. It may also trigger bursts of intense grooming or cause your cat to suddenly leap away like something invisible startled them. The word hyperesthesia means heightened sensitivity to touch, and in these cats, that's exactly what's happening. Their nerve endings become unusually reactive, responding to the slightest stimuli, or sometimes to nothing at all. A gentle stroke, a shift in air, even a moment of stillness can set off a twitch or an unexpected sprint across the room. Although researchers haven't pinpointed a single cause, stress and emotional frustration are believed to be major contributors. While neglect isn't directly to blame, emotional instability, whether due to routine disruption, loneliness, or overstimulation, can definitely make things worse. The science is still unfolding, but most experts agree on one thing. FHS flare-ups are deeply connected to a cat's emotional well-being. If this explains something you've seen in your own cat but couldn't quite put into words, liking the video helps us keep sharing more moments like this. So what can you actually do if your cat is showing these signs? Start small. Sit with them in silence. Speak gently. Brush their fur. If that's something they enjoy, rebuild the connection, one quiet moment at a time. Offer routine. Carve out time for play. Share a slow blink, or surprise them with a favorite treat. Let them know you're there. And if the signs persist, talk to a vet. Because sometimes emotional neglect looks a lot like illness, and vice versa. Behavioral change is often the first signal of an underlying issue. Remember, affection doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be 5 extra minutes of lap time, a spontaneous treat, or just eye contact followed by a slow blink. Cats don't ask for much, but they notice everything. Your presence, your absence, your routine. They may be mysterious, but they're not unfeeling. They notice when your energy shifts. They feel your absence, even if you're just in the next room more than usual. And sometimes they act out not because they're bad, but because they're scared you've stopped loving them. So the next time your cat is acting strange, don't just correct them, connect with them. Watch them closely. Listen with more than your ears. And if understanding your cat on this level speaks to you, consider subscribing and sharing this video. Someone else's cat might be waiting to be heard too.